with Ramapuram SRM Institute of Science and Technology.
டேய் சும்மாறா நானே நொந்து போயிருக்கேன். நண்பா உனக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கா?
வணக்கம். இன்றைய முக்கிய செய்திகள். கொரோனா பெரும் பரவல் காரணமாக பொது முடக்கம் அறிவிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதனால் அனைத்து கல்லூரிகளும் அடைக்கப்பட்டு ஆன்லைனில் வகுப்புகள் நடைபெறும் என்பது இதன் மூலமாக அறிவிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது.
அப்போ ஹேஷ்டேக்
Dreams become reality with a perfect platform. Give wings to your ambition. Ignite it with power, with creativity, and let it fly. Let it fly high to reach the sky. Let your passion lead you. Take you places. Script your success story and make you a champion in your mastery. Transform your dreams into reality with Ramapuram SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Dreams become reality with a perfect platform. Give wings to your ambition. Ignite it with power, with creativity and let it fly. Let it fly high to reach the sky. Let your passion lead you. Take you places. Script your success story. And make you a champion in your mastery. Transform your dreams into reality with Ramapuram SRM Institute.
Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to not to try. Good evening. I hope all of you are keeping yourself safe and healthy in this difficult time. We are grateful to our esteemed management, our beloved VP Admin SEAD Architect Lokesh Mathivanan Sir, Conveyor #2021, and HOD Professor Architect Asok Kumar Sir, Co-convener #2021, our overall event coordinators, Staff Coordinator Architect Avinash Sir, our faculty members and students. Welcome to #2021 Workshop Series Day 3. Title sponsored Madan's Makeover, a tailor-made salon. I am Anaga and I have Samrita here with me, and we will be coordinating the workshop session along with Shriha for the day.
SRM SEAD has grown over the years and today has not only BIAC but also BDAS, EMAC and a lot more to come. All thanks to the patience and perseverance of our very own Architect Lokesh Sir, Vice Principal SRM SEAD and convener of #2021. I welcome you all to this workshop. To avoid inconvenience for all of us, I request all of the participants to keep your mic switched off throughout the presentation. Participants can use the Q&A box to ask questions, and these will be addressed in the Q&A session towards the end of the workshop. Kindly refrain from using offensive language in the chat box. Participants are also requested to fill the feedback form sent in the chat box to receive their e-certificates. Thank you. I now request Shriha to introduce our speaker for the day.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all. I am Shriya M and I'll be the moderator for today's watercoloring painting workshop. I'd like to introduce our workshop conductor, Madhuvarshini Sandilvenan, our very own student at SEAD SRM. Madhuvarshini has completed 2 sets of graduation at Global Art India. She has participated in national and international competitions and won first place in one held at Bangalore and second place in the competition held at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She currently takes classes over the weekends for kids between the ages of 5 to 15 under the name Pens, Papers and Pencils. Over to you, Madhuvarshini.
Thanks, Shriha. Thanks for the warm welcome. And I think this session will be fun-filled, and without any further delay, I just want to show you guys what watercolors is actually. I will present my screen. I hope my screen is being seen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes. Just a minute. Yes. So, water painting. So, what is water painting? Is watercolors are usually a pigment which is like water soluble, and unlike other paints like oil paints and other paints, which is not soluble, watercolors are usually soluble, and you can go from the opacity of 0 to 100. Right? You can get the lightest of the color and the darkest of the original color. And so usually these pigment are usually done using Arabic gum, glycerin, and so glycerin is the one which it makes the paint to get soluble in water. And watercolors are usually transparent, and as I said, you can bring the color to 0 opacity to 100% opacity. And so what do you want for water paints? Water paints are very, simple things. You only need, your sheet, your paints, and brushes, like say, of brushes you might need both, flat and round. But otherwise, the materials which is required for water paints is very minimal. And so yeah, you need a palette, and you usually need water, and so that's all. So these watercolor, usually, you'll have a lot of techniques to achieve, the painting that you want to finish. Say starting from a flat wash to, glazing of a sky. So it is from you learn as a beginner to the advanced levels. So it is all about techniques. You implement you learn your techniques and implement in your sheets. So that's all about watercolor painting. So I will now I hope my video is being seen. Yeah, is my video being seen?
Yeah, it's same.
Yeah, okay. You can see the sheet, right?
Yeah, it's same.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So today I want you all to learn a basic bookmark. So the final product that we will be taking with you is going to look something like this. And I will be teaching you the basic, as I said, whatever you want to achieve on water paints, the end product, you should be, having your hand at your techniques. So I'll just go about with, whatever technique should be learned for, doing this bookmark. And I'll start with that. So all I have here is a sheet. This was actually an A4 sheet, which I just cut into a small piece, for making this more viewable and all that. So all I have is my watercolor sheet. This is around 300 GSM. So I also want you to tell watercolor, being water, it's like when it comes to water paints, water is the most, it plays the principal role, and it is like the hero. So for this, you will actually need a thicker sheet of 300 GSM. Unlike your ordinary sheets, water will usually seep. So you'll always make a note of going for sheets of thicker GSM. And yeah, so I am having. I will be using camelid cubes for today. It will look something like this. Usually you'll find water paints in cake or pencil. I think tube is the best go-to for, like when you're going to start. Tubes are the best thing that you can start with. And I will be using say these 5 brushes for today. So I have one flat brush of size 7 and one round brush of 8 and another of 7 and 2 thinner brushes. So this is all you need. I will
Madhu,
start
1 second.
Yeah.
Can you stop sharing on the other device? And everyone, please pin Madhu's
yeah.
other screen. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So yeah, so as I was saying about the brushes, so these are the 5 brushes that I'll be using for today's session. And yeah, so I also have I usually ask if like water paint. Some people suggest you to go with just 1 cup of water for the entire painting. I would suggest in case of a beginner to have 2 cups of water because in case of merging, you will always require a bottle of clean water. So yeah, so I think that's all the materials that I have with me for today. And I will be the first technique that I want to teach you today is flat wash. So what I do is just pick a color of any color that you have, and I have my palette here. I just have dropped in a lot of colors and just putting a drop of the dry paint that I have. What I do is pick any brush that's thick, and I'll make sure I use this jug to put in all the colors, and the tiny jar as a clean water. So I just use the jug, and I just drop in a few drops of water onto the palette. You will just have some consistency and say something like this. So yeah, I just paint here and show. You'll have a consistency of something like this. Too much of water, there will be no opacity. I mean, there'll be very less opacity. So yeah, I think this something like this should be fine for the flat wash. Say 2 to 3 drops of water from the brush. So yeah. So yeah, flat wash is basically the same color all over the object. Make sure you just hold the brush in one direction instead of going crisscross, or just follow the same direction. It's going to be linear, then go about in linear. If you have very less paint, you can always go to your palette and pick paint and go about. Just make sure you give the paint on same direction, and just it's fine if you go about in a different direction to fill the object, the white spaces. Just filling the white spaces. So yeah, it should look something like this. So this will be your flat wash, just one color that you will give, and it should be of very minimal water. As I said, just 2 to 3 drops will do this. And so this is the first technique. This is called as flat wash. So you usually use a flat brush, and you take in the water of minimum consistency, and just paint in your objects. So this is the first technique, just called as flat wash. The next will be diluted flat wash. So I'm just having the same color in the palette. I'm just adding more water to it, even more water, a lot of water. So yeah, it should be something like this. As a paint, it should be I hope you can see the difference between these both. Yeah. So diluted is more, you dilute it with a lot of water. So it should be something like this. So yeah. Yes. So as you can see the difference between the both, this is a flat wash and this is a diluted flat wash. So it is basically giving one object all over, one color all over the object. But this is a little, having a higher opacity, and this is being diluted. So that's the difference between flat wash and your diluted flat wash. So I think we're done with the first two techniques. You can always use a tissue or a cloth, or any kinds of material that can absorb your brush. So usually do that before you go to you're going to take the water, or add in a new paint. Always clean your brush, and keep your brush clean always. So I think the next technique will be graded wash. So it is basically using one color and bringing light to dark of the same color. Maybe I will do this with another one. Using this color to show the graded wash. Graded wash can usually be done with the same color, or you can add same family colors and wash them, or different families, and then bring out the graded texture and whatever. So yeah, I just took the dry paint. Just like a flat wash, I'm just adding just 1 drop of water. This should look like this, something like this, same like a flat wash. So, yeah. So I just give it, considering this is a square object, I just want a dark graded on the bottom. So yeah, I just give one little dark. So now a little, say 5% of the object, I'm just filling it with dark paint. I'm just adding the water and make it a little dilute. Give it this way. As you go about, even more less. Basic concept is no white to more white. So initially in the bottom there will be no white. As I go up, I use very little paint and I have the maximum white on the top. So yeah, in this case you can take a new brush and always go to your clean water and just I took no paint. I'm just dipping the clean water and just going about on the sheet. Yeah, so here it is the most darkest, and you'll find a medium on the middle, and it will be the white, diluted lightest part of the object. In case you want to show more dark, always go and take some more paint and just drop in a lot of paint at the bottom and just give it this way. And again, just go with your brush and give it a clean water. So here it looks darkest and the medium and the light with maximum of white. So this will be the graded wash with single color, and you can also do graded wash with a different family color. Like I say, I will take a pink color and a blue color, and I will show you the graded wash of different, two different families. So I'm just dropping in a little pink. Same like the flat wash, I'm just having a dark, consistent paint. I'm just giving this. The clean water and just a tinge of make the pink a little watery, and I will drop in my blue color. Dark blue. Just mix both the colors. just go with whatever we did with the brown, like just very little. You just keep adding water, and in the final, just take clean water and no paint. Just brush with water, clean water. Just you come back here, take a little clean water and just mix both the colors to be merged. Just go through. So here is the graded wash of the different family colors. So that's all about gradient washes. So we learned what is flat wash, diluted flat wash, the gradient wash with the same family, gradient wash of a different family. And I think we've learned 4 techniques for now. We just have 2 more, that is wet on wet and wet on dry. So wet on wet is usually wet water with wet paint. Wet on dry is wet water and dry paint. So I just show you what it is. I'm just taking wet water and dropping it just like that. See that? I'm just dropping it. So this is the wet water, and here I have a little pink red paint. I'm just dropping my pink paints over it, over the water. So it might look something like this. It looks something like this. So this is wet on wet. So you just wet your paper and add wet paint. Wet on dry is just put wet water, wet clean water on the sheet and drop in dry paint. That is, say I'm just taking the yellow one, but this is a dry paint. So I'm just taking this and dropping it directly on the water. Something like this. So this, if you look at this, the difference between these two is, this will seep a lot. Maybe you can use it for the backgrounds, mostly wet on wet. You can use it for a large area, like say the backgrounds. Wet on dry, you can always go for objects like flower petal or say a grass or something like that. Wet on dry is more seeking, or it will not seep. Wherever you give the water, it will attach. Whereas wet on wet, it just takes the water and it wherever you give it, and it will take more of sheet. So I think we're done with the techniques. So these are the 6 techniques that you'll also be a few of them you'll be incorporating in your bookmark. And these are the basic techniques that you'll be requiring to just get as a beginner. So yeah, I hope you guys understood what the techniques are. And moving aside, we'll start with the bookmark. So yeah, this is the bookmark that I wanted to do today. So as you see, this is basically a beach, sea or something like the water. So here you have the boats, and yeah. So this is more like gradient wash. So as you see, you will have the darkest blue here, the medium of the blue, and the lightest of the blue. And here you have the sand. So that's a different family. So here it was a different family merge over, and it was the same family merge over all over here. So it is quite easy. I mean, like you just have to make your hands understand what gradient wash is in the technique. And I think that will be okay for, that's all you need to know for doing this bookmark. Yeah. This is, a width of 5 meters, and I taped it in the corner. I will just show you. It might look something like this. So what I did was I used a paper tape. You might find it in any stationery shop or anywhere. I mean, you'll get this paper tape wherever you want to. And so what I did was I just taped it on the corners. I didn't want a thick border. When you remove it, you'll have the white space, something like this. It will look clean. Always use tapes, when you're using water paints, it might, give a different look always. And yeah, so I just wanted thin borders for the bookmark. So I, taped it for say a 0.2 or something like only a very little centimeter. And yeah, I've taped it on all the 4 corners. If you want, you can always tape it wherever you want to, just on the sides or just on the top and bottom. And what I did was I just, what I did was I did the basic wave with my pencil and wherever I want my boards to be. So yeah, wherever I want my boards to be, I've just given an outline using pencil. Just give it light. Maybe the boards a little dark, because when you drop in a dark blue, it might get hidden. So I've just given a light sketch of whatever I want to give. For this, the paints that you'll be using is Persian blue. So the shades of Persian blue. So what I will do is I'll tell you what type of how you take the paints for this. What I do is I take my Persian blue, drop it in, and I already have a black on the palette. So I just, this is the darkest shade of the blue. I'm just adding black and my blue. So this will be my darkest. Always have a sheet or something, to check out what the color will actually look like before dropping into a paper. So this might look like this. So this will be the darkest paint today. Wave, and the next medium will be the actual blue. So just drop in the Persian blue and something like this. So this will be the medium. Shade, I just drop in a little of my blue and a little of my white. A little of my white. So something like this. I just use water and mix both the colors. Something like this. This will be my lightest before the white. So I just want one more shade, which is between this blue and the white. So what I do is I add a little more of my the blue to the same thing. Just like that. that's on the corner of the same thing. Something like this. So we have the darkest of the blue, the next color, the shades of blue for for the gradient wash, and so we took the Persian blue for the water. For the sand, I took burnt raw sienna. So this looks more like the sand color. What I do is I already have some of the paint in my palette. I just add a little. I just dilute it. I don't want the dry texture. I mean, opaque the sand. I just add a little water and make sure it's more fluid, or I just reduce the opacity by adding a lot of water. So yeah, so it will look something like this. It's not dry. I mean, it has a lot of water. So yes. So this part is where you will get the sand. So I just take a brush of any size. I'm just using a round brush of size 8. I'm just adding the sand color here. I just go about just like that. Always come from the bottom again, because we want the dark on the bottom and the lightest on the top. I'm just filling the object. Yeah, you can just go a little above the wave. It can be something like this. I'm just crossing the pencil line to merge with the next color there. I take a lot of extra wave and make sure this place is a little darker. And I use the clean water to merge it. You go on the tape, because after you remove it and nothing will be here, so you can always go on the tape. So yeah, we're done with the sand, the water. We have the lightest here. So I feel it is being mixed with the color because of the water. I just take it aside. Something like this. So yeah, I just take a little water. Just fill the object wherever I want. I use a lot of water. just going above the pencil line to merge with the next color. The next will be this. I just come from the top. Just do some clean water and just do the margin of this. Now I'm going to the blue. Starting at the blue. So do something like this. Pick the darkest. Dark. Just add a lot of dark to the top. Just done with the gradient of colors. We've used all the colors from here. What I do is, I feel a few places are still not being merged. So what I do is take a flat brush. This is of size 7. So I'm just taking this flat brush and the clean water. Just merging just the water and merge. Yes. So yeah, I think we're done with the merging part. Once it dries, I'm just going. I just want this part to be dry. So I come to the sand portion. What I do is take a brush of size like this. This is a brush of size 2. It's very thin and it is a round brush. I take the sand, that is the so I take the raw sienna and just drop in the dry paint. Just wash the brush with water. What I do is take a little of the dry paint. Just for the sand, I just give this, just dab it. Very little dots. It should be more darker on the bottom and what I do is use my tissue paper, just give it a dab like this. Just feel I want to add even more dots, and I just like that. Just like this. So yeah, and now by the time the blue paints are dried, just this place I just want to go again. I just take the clean water and just finish this area. Yeah. So yes, now we are done with the gradient washes. We can move to the white paint. You can very well use a white paint with a thin brush, or you will always find white pens at your home or anywhere. I mean, like, white pens are very common. I mean, you can just use the white pen, or instead you can just drop in the dried white paint and maybe using a thin brush of say a size 00 or 0. You can just go about on the waves and just highlight the picture. I will be using both the pen and the brush. So I just start with the bottom. Started only when the paints are dried, or the pen will mix with your paint and give a kind of color together. I think paint has been dried. Always, there are a lot of people who they use a blow dryer to blow and instead of waiting for the fan to dry or your surrounding to dry. Always use a blow dryer or hair dryer to dry the paint fast. So yeah, I think the pen is meant a lot to it because the paints are still wet. Drop in my white paint. And drop in a clean white paint and a bit of water. So yeah, I painted all my lines using the white paint. It's being dried, so you can just use the white paint and give the boards. So before giving the boards, you can just take a small brush of say size 2 or you can use the same 0 size brush. And, take the darkest paint. So it might not be the darkest, maybe the blue that we do. I'm just taking the paint. Near the board, I just give a shadow on one side, like this. Similarly here, I give a shadow like this. All the boards, you sketched initially using the pencil. Just the one side, I give the dark. So I just give one side of the board dark. You can go back to the size 0 to the 0 brush and take the white. And put it on the board. So it looks something like this. Wait for it to dry. Until then, we'll go back to the wave and make sure you give the second layer of the lines. Gently gets merged up with the blue color because they tend to be wet. So make sure the gradient is being completely dry. Then start with the white paints. I think now I can go with the white pens. Just give it a try again. So what I do is just like this. I just draw it over it. It's easier for me to give it using the white pens. I just form the texture like this. You can use your tissue or whatever. Just remove the paint like this. Just need some dots here and there. just give random this scribblings on the white. Just make sure you follow shape, something like boxes like this. Just so after this, so after this, the boards would have been dry. I'm using the pinks or the red. You can use the reds and the yellows. So now it will be a little highlighted on the blue color water. So I just take this zero brush and take my pink. Should not be too watery. Just take a little. Make sure it's dry. Mine's not dried yet, so let me always use a tissue paper, just damp it, and in case they are dried, you give it a long time, they might have been dry, but they still tend to have that little watery effect. So what I do is use my tissue paper and just a linear line like this. Also use my yellows. I use the same one which you use for the sand. This comes mostly like a yellow and a brown. So we're done with highlighting the birds. Here I feel the pink or the red is being mixed with the white and gives a tint. So I'm just adding again. Same like poster paints, watercolors tend to have the thing of mixing and merging. So in case it's more opacity, you can always go for the dry paint again. And yeah, I think we are done. I just want to highlight the whites. So what I do is just go with the pen again. For dropping of the white paint, what I do is you can take to the brush. I think this is the size of the brush. I just keep my brush on this, but I have a lot of water. And I just give the brush. And I just, keep the brush. I hold the brush on the tip. And then what I do is in the center, I just knock it like this. So you can see the dropping of the whites on the sheet. Just drop it on the places where you want it. Just add it on the, drop it on the water part. So, yes. I think I've dropped one on the board, so I just want to remove it. I just grab it. So, when you dab it, as soon as you drop it, it might be removed. In case of, you wait for it to dry, then remove, it might not do. So just watercolors are, easy to taking mistakes. It is easy to remove it and rectify it on the same sheet. So I just wait for a few minutes for it to dry. I think we go for the Q&A session properly, and maybe until after that this will have dried. So maybe in the end I can videos. Sam?
Yeah.
Yes.
One second. Yeah, I think Shriha, you can continue.
Yeah, Sam.
Thank you for that fun session. We learned a lot. Are there any questions? Can we take some questions now? Madhuvarshini, can we take some questions now?
Yeah. Shriha, we can have the question.
Yeah, so we have a question from Suprita Manoharan. She's asked, what do I do if the water pours all over my sheet?
There's no go. I mean, you should be very careful. I mean, you should definitely have the patience when you start painting. So you should make sure, you don't drop in waters on the entire sheet. Just make sure, you drop in the whatever water you require. Just, have a grip on your hands. And I think, on the practice, you might, you'll not do that. Initially, you will have all the dropping of paints, excess of paints and excess of water and all that. I think, just have a grip or balance in the initial stages. After, multiple practice of the water paints, you'll be fine in holding it.
Yeah, and we have another question. I have shaky hands. Can I still paint?
Yes, you can. It is not that you should not have a shaky hand. You tend to shake. I tend to shake. Like everybody, they will have that imbalance while they start painting. It's fine. I mean, as I said, same Subratani, like after you get ahead of practicing and getting used to the paints, you'll stick to it. I mean, you'll not move away. So yeah.
Madhu, do you think you can take off the tape?
Yeah, Sam. I will.
Yeah. So that everyone can see what it looks like. Shriha, I think you can continue asking questions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have a question from an anonymous attendee. How to avoid wastage of colors?
So yeah, this is something, you should make sure what you take on the palette. Always go for a palette. I mean, make sure you can reuse the paints always. Like you should like I think I've used a lot of paints again and again. So being you always paint and all that. So palette is something you can't. I don't mean to say that after so many months you can take it from the palette and use it. You should use it like a month, within a month or something like that. But make sure you always use palette and you drop in a little of paints whenever you start. So that's how you can stop prevent the wastage of paints.
Yes, we have a question from Sanskriti Mishra. She's asking if you can use white color instead of white pen for water details.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, she's asked if she can use white color instead of white pen for water details. That
Yeah,
is white pens.
you can very well use only the white paint instead of the white pen. I used it because I like some since the water was being wet and the white if I'm going to use the white paint, it tends to get merged. Like I will get the tint of the white, I mean the tint of the blue. So that's why I wanted to go with white pens. You can very well use the white paint as well.
We have another question from her. She's asked how to prevent merging of two colors. Like when she paints, sometimes the two colors merge and become very messy.
Yeah, okay. So this you'll have to be careful. I mean, colors tend to merge. I mean, a water paint is a medium where colors get seeped in and it gets merged always. So what you'll have to do is always have a cloth. As I said, watercolors, you can rectify the mistakes, in the earlier stage. So use a tissue, just damp it, make sure it doesn't seep too much. So it depends on it will, you should take the amount of water should always be on balance. So if you're going to take a lot of water, then definitely there will be seepage. I mean, you can't do anything about it.
We have a question from Nandini B. Should we can we use the same technique for painting a flower?
Yeah, maybe I think a flower you can always go for wet on wet. Maybe I can just show you just a petal of a flower. Say this is the petal of the flower, and what I do is take a brown brush. Maybe I'll go with the pink. So as I said, you can go with wet on wet. So just take some clean water. So now the paints, I mean I've mixed all the paints. So just using a little of, just filling the object like this. I just take some little water paint which is wet. I just drop it in like this. So it might look something like this. You just clean the brush and just give it this. So it might look something like this. I've overgone with the pencil if it is a little dark. Maybe you can, as I said, you always should use your pencil light. I mean, the sketch should always be light. So if you're going to use the sketching a little lighter and you use the wet on wet, I think flowers are best with wet on wet.
We have a question. While I'm painting, the paper gets thin and it might get torn if I paint once again. How can I avoid it? Or what paper should I use?
As I said in the starting, water paints, you cannot use it in all the papers that you get to. So usually go for sheets, of a higher GSM. I would not suggest GSM like say 500 or 600, something like that. Just a beginner, water sheet like 300 GSM. That will definitely do. Because on an ordinary sheet, the GSM is always less, and they tend to seep. So you just want to start with water paints, then definitely a 300 GSM is go to. Yeah.
Can we finish the session?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So thank you for the fun session, Madhu.
Thank
We
you.
learned a lot. I'd like to invite our faculty coordinator, event coordinator, Ms. Pooja Kataria ma'am, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to everyone. First of all, I'm so proud and happy to see our student Madhuvarshini delivering this beautiful workshop. Hashtag has been a platform where you have explored, like you have exhibited your talent that you have. I hope that everyone who's present here, our fellow students and all the participants, they also get inspired from you, and next year they participate in full capacity, not just as participant, but they also come to this side and explore and exhibit their talent. Well done on you, Madhuvarshini. Like extremely happy to see that creativity there, and hoping to grab one of your bookmarks that you made sometime. So thank you so much for willing to take this opportunity and like show us all your talent. I'm sure each one of us have learned a lot from your workshop. And I cannot thank enough the management for letting us conduct this hashtag, which is very important symposium where we are learning, growing, making new connections, meeting friends, and yes, getting inspired. And I would like to thank uh, architect Lokesh sir, who's the convener of the event, and our HOD, Professor Asok Kumar, for always supporting us. And thank you to the coordinators, Samyukta, Anaga, Shriya, and each one of you who've been working day in, day out on this particular event, like workshops. You guys are really doing good. Well done on that. And best wishes and congratulations for the great work that you're putting up. Thank you to Avinash sir for coordinating all our workshops. And thank you for all the students who are working on this event to make it a grand success. And not last but not the least, all the participants, thank you so much for your patience and thank you for being part of hashtag 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. And please don't forget to sign up for the Music and Mental Health Workshop by Mr. Jay Sharan that's taking place tomorrow from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Thank you all and have a nice day.